Hi, welcome back to Geek and Son. So the last video you saw was me putting primer all over the general, making it perfect. But I'm looking right here and this line was not crisp enough. And in fact right there needs a little bit of something. So what did I do? Crazy me. I took a grinder to it and I put it back down to bare metal. Yeah. I wanted it to be perfect. I knew every time I opened that door or came to the side, I would see this imperfection. Now, most people probably would not even have seen it, but it really bothered me. So I did. And then I took some, some 40 grit on the boards here and 80 grit. I think it's down to 80 right now. Yeah. So now I have to respray. Now I have to respray epoxy and a sprayable filler and the primer if I want it to be all consistent. So I basically created myself a lot of work, but it's straight now. Look at that. It was pretty straight before. And I think, you know what? As I'm saying this, I'm going to put a little bit of mud right there because it goes in right there. If you look with your little paint stick right here, you can see some light in there. Barely. I know it's barely. And I noticed earlier a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some little bit of mud right there. I mean, obviously it's paper thin, but it bothers me. So I will fix it. And then we can be back to square, whatever one we're on. I was going to do this. I started sanding, but that started bothering me. Right now, I've got the dash out here. And I'm going to take it all apart and put the little pieces in bags and label them. So that way, are you there? I'm going to take this all apart piece by piece. Enough, take this off and this off. It's the original key. Is there anything on the back? There is. That's so nice. Vents, wiring, dash. I'm going to put a really kick butt speaker in there. How about that? There's a 6x9 speaker in there now, the original one. Although I'm probably not even going to have a stereo in it. But I think while it's all apart, it would be smart to put a really cool 6x9 in there once it's back together. So I'm going to sand this down all the bare metal, best I can, and then do the same thing because I got to spray that now with epoxy, so that'll be good. Then these are already in epoxy, and I can sand those down, kind of get it back into like more of an assembly line type thing. So then this will be epoxy. Then if I decide, I will put the sprayable filler on here, and of course the primer, and then I will spray this matte black and the tail light matte black. Maybe that. We'll see how that ends up. So I've got a lot of sanding to do today if you want to watch. I think I will record me taking this piece apart. Don't forget to subscribe. See how good it looks though? Thanks for watching. All right, I just put a thin coat of mud on there. I'll straighten that baby out even more once I get it sanded down. Again, I don't want it to be made out all of mud, but it's just perfecting the surface. So let that dry for a while. Now, I'm going to start taking this apart. I will start with, how about that? So I'm going to need a Phillips screwdriver, it looks like. And I'll take these things off. Who knows who put these on 50 years ago. There's one. Take all these screws out. Take the fuse box off. Maybe, yeah. Clean all this off. It's part of the original glove box. I've got a new one of those. Take the little map light off. Interesting. Get those speaker covers off. That's gonna be a job. Anyway, I'll do that now. All right, so I've got the dashboard here, and I'll just leave it focused on this. Looks like we're good. Stuff in the way, of course, as usual. But I'm lucky to have a garage, and I know that. I remember being a kid and, being underneath the car type of stuff. How about this? those are just those nuts. Let's try this. Just by luck, got the right one for this vent. And I'm gonna mark and put these in little baggies and mark them. So you would think normally I would just throw them in a bag or put them on top of my toolbox, but I want to be really meticulous with this. Well, here's a vent cable, and it looks like it's all there. How about that? So I just got this package in the mail, and if it's what I think it is, it's super fast. It is. Holy crap. Let's see what they screwed up. They always screw something up. There it is. Now I'm not, again, these people don't pay me a nickel nor give me a discount, but this is what I've used on the car from Eastwood. And here's the two little things to go with it. So it's here, and I'm telling you that took 2 days, I think. Usually takes, I mean, I've waited a month before, so good for them. Okay, I'm gonna sand this down to bare metal, then I'm gonna spray it with epoxy, then I'll sand that, then I'll do the sprayable filler if I decide it needs it, which I want it to, probably, because I want it to be just as good as the other thing. Then I'm gonna sand that, spray that with the sprayable filler, so it'll be match that, and then we'll get back to the primer, and we'll primer this and primer that and primer the other. I need to get some lizard skin for this, and the inside of the fenders, inside here and inside the quarters. I wish I would have sprayed lizard skin before, but I didn't, or some kind of sound ender. I also got these today. I don't know if you can see what they are. They go right here. They are new old stock, can you believe that? So that'll be awesome. Now I can paint these. In fact, I should probably spray these with epoxy and primer and everything too. Probably won't though. But now at least I have them, so when I paint the car, I don't have the reflectors yet, or this, but at least now I can get them. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna sand. Alright, well. Hey look, it's Geek and Son. Welcome back. Yeah. So I've sanded this down to 40 grit. And then I'm going to go ahead and sand it down to 80 grit. And then I'm going to go ahead and spray epoxy primer on it. And then let it set for probably a couple days.
So I had an idea.
Yeah, what?
You know, they have the laser technology to see if the frame is straight. If you have laser technology to see if the gaps and stuff are straight.
Well, why don't you invent that really quick and I'll be working on the car.
Alright.
So today I'm also going to put it's a little bit more mud right here. I had the whole car primered and ready to almost to paint, but there was a little bump right here and a little bump right here, and the line wasn't very crisp right here because from this panel right here was pasted in after I screwed up the other one.
What about this? There's a dip right
Hold
there.
on. And so I had to make this really crisp. So right now, if you look at you take one of these paint sticks and you look, it's especially right there, there's a gap right there. So is it minimal? Yeah, but when you look at the line this way, you can see that it's not perfect right there. So I just need to put some mud right here. This one I managed to get perfect. Now this needs we're talking paper thin. I'm being a little picky, but look how much I've worked on this car.
Look at this though.
I know that you won't even
No,
see
is
it.
that the gap? But no, do you see the dip in the?
Hey, you won't see that. Look, can you see it under there? It's visual. It's not real. It's an illusion. It's an illusion.
What about this? Don't you have to redo this entire panel now with the primer and everything?
Yeah.
Only this spot?
Yeah. We're talking epoxy, then sandable filler, then primer, and all that in between. And right now I'm about to do some mud on it. Again, for like the 4th time since I've taken the grinder to it.
4's my lucky number.
Some gloves
So say what this is again?
This is the fiberglass enhanced mud. It's filler with fiberglass in it, so it's super strong. And I don't like filler, but...
Are you a novice?
Not anymore. Probably what you call an intermediate. So you take some of this, and you stir it up. Make sure it's good consistency. I've already stirred it just recently.
How do you spell consistency, Timmy Ma?
I don't know, ask Timmy Ma. Make sure it's nice and about like that. And I don't need very much. Just go plop. Maybe teeny, well, you know, I think that's gonna be enough. So I'm really just doing a small area.
It's not like you ever need this again though.
For the
Why are you conserving
for the Nova.
That makes sense.
Then you take this catalyst stuff, whatever it's called, hardener. You gotta squish it in there like toothpaste because otherwise it might get separated. And there's like a really specific formula for this. But here's what I do. Got that much.
If it's a specific formula, then it's supposed to be exact, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
It's like a recipe.
I know, I'm a recipe maker. Then you just do this. Mix it. Get all that blue mixed in. But then once it's mixed, you gotta hurry because it's hardener. So what does it do? It gets hard. You probably heard of that. Timmy Ma. What? What's so funny?
So you have to put something red in it. There's usually something red.
Well, this hardener's blue. Doesn't matter. Okay, then you run to the car before it gets too hard.
Why do you have so many fans in here?
Blow some dust out. I want to be right here. I already have it marked. I had it clean. Must have been a teenager or something around here. Now all I'm going to do is put a really thin coat from like here up. And would anybody see this? No. But I do.
That's all that should matter.
Yeah.
It's the you care about it.
Try to get the least amount of lines as you can. No, you don't use this to build the car, although you could. I mean, you saw that one today where they had like a half-inch of filler on it.
Bondo.
Fill-in, which is what Bondo's the brand name. This is the name of the product is filler, but yes. And this is just perfecting the surface.
Goes on like butter.
You gotta have a really light touch.
Isn't that the sculpture guy or is that Leonardo da Vinci?
I don't know. So I've got the dashboard all sanded down where I want it to be, down to 80 grit. I'll clean it up and then I'll go ahead and spray it with epoxy like this, and then they'll be at the same stage. So that's the front balance, dash. I've also got that other edge I've got to do. But if you look even from here, it's best to look at what I'm trying to fix from far away to see how the body line goes. And that right there is perfect. Just like that, it's perfect. That's perfecter. Perfecter. Because this I had to splice in a quarter of a quarter because I messed it up. Don't look at that video, it's embarrassing I even did that. So we're still same day. I've decided that I am going to spray the epoxy on the quarter panel right here and the dash. So I've got a little bit of light left and I figured why not. I'm going to mask that window really quick and get myself ready, get the paint gun ready, and then I'll be good to go. So keep watching. Alright, I'm gonna spray the epoxy now. Right there. And then on there.
Where?
On the dash.
4, 5, 6.
Okay. Paint gun. Alright, so got that all done. Okay, and then the car. A little runny, but not bad. Now we let it dry and I clean the paint gun. Lizard skin kind of stuff over it. Then once the sprayable filler's done and it's all flat where I like it, then back to primer, and then we sand the primer all down to 1,000,000, and then we're ready for paint. It's not 1,000,000% perfect. I'm being crazy, but it's not 1,000,000 perfect, but it's about, you know, 500,000 perfect. I could see the flaws. Let's look with the light. See if we can do that. The light looks pretty straight, we think. So there's no waves like that. There's just a little bit of, there's no waviness in the lines, but there's a little stuff that only I would probably see, which is fine. Hey, caramba! Woo! Danger. That's what happens when you're not awesome. I'm awesome. That's what happens when you're a novice, new, in your home, in your garage. That's what happens when you do things out of your garage. But it's